We continue with the next session. Paula Gonzalo from Periodismo Ciudadano, Citizens Reporter. We have a wonderful mixture, and Carla Caro, who are going to talk now about quantum computing and much more. Thank you very much. Wow. To continue, after such a wonderful presentation, keeps the bar really high, but I think that the next proposal is really interesting. Thank you very much to you all for being here. It is a luxury to be here once more in this 16th edition of Empodera Live, talking about citizens' digital sovereignty. And we're going to have a fantastic speaker who is going to talk about quantum computing and how it can help us tackle global challenges. Fabrizio was talking before about the presence of powerful women whom we are capable of listening to at the beginning of this wonderful event. And our second guest is someone who is going to fascinate you as much as she fascinates me, not just because she's a powerful woman, but because of how powerful and thriving as a young person she is. She studies second degree of physics in Barcelona. She also studies philosophy. And during high school, she did not join Zumba classes. She did not go to Interrail, but the Interrail experience. But when she was 16, she participated in an amazing computing project, quantum computing project on machine learning, and she has learned a lot. And this project that we're going to talk about in detail has made her be given the European Contest of Young Science of 2021 award, the International Science Engineering Award. So in that very same year, so barely when she was 17 years old, she was part of the Forbes list of the top 5 most awarded Spaniards in 2021. So this is the woman that we're about to get to know, Carla Caro Villanova. Thank you very much for being here. A pleasure to count on you in Empodera Live. Thank you very much.
A ver. ¿No se oye? O a lo mejor si no con uno de mano. ¿Sí? Ah.
¿Ahora? Vale, sí. Ya, me sonaba a mí también un poco raro y digo, no estarás...
Okay. So you were 17, so I think that your parents are super proud, probably drooling all over. Yeah, they're really happy, yeah. And they probably are the people who introduced you as IT experts in the computing world. Yes, I must say that partly I'm already a native in everything that has to do with programming. And as a young person, I had close contact with programming, and I was really interested in computing. And later on, when I was 16 years old, I entered in contact with physics, and to see how I can combine both things, I found some fascinating, and to be able to apply it to society is something that inspired me the most. And how is it that you decided to apply all of this on the field of health and cancer, tumors in particular, because all of these awards are the result of a research project that had to do with tumors, right? And the application of quantum computing to this field. Yes, precisely. Through a quantum algorithm in my work, well, we created that, but I did not want to restrict this to a theoretical model, but rather to see a direct application. And it was always something that I was keen to do, to try and help people, and which better field to do that than in the medicine world. So I applied a machine learning algorithm to distinguish between malignant and non-malignant cancer tumors. And I think that it is a great application. And if I personally, from my small place in the world between physics and quantum computing, I can contribute towards tackling those challenges and improving society, this is something that I'm always going to strive for in my research projects. And do you think that this application of quantum computing in the field of health in particular, handling all those data, can offer us some kind of solution for cancer, some way in which we can tackle the illness? For the time being, quantum computing is a very new field, and the quantum computers are being developed currently, which are going to create a revolution in the future. And in 10 or 15 years, we're going to reach full tolerance where our devices are going to be functional and useful. And then they can have some applications that can encompass many different aspects, one of which can be health, especially in terms of simulating molecules or drugs, because they work following the quantum physics laws, which are the fundamental pillars of a quantum computer. So we expect to see a lot of progress, exponential progress, by the time we reach this fully functional state of these quantum computers. Yeah, we talked about it yesterday, and we talked about how fascinating this world is, because it's as if we would be delving into uncharted territory, unexplored fields where everything is about to come round the corner. And you said that that's the reason why you wanted to study philosophy, because it's like, going into uncharted territory, and you need to know which are the questions to ask yourself. Yes, precisely. This is a new field. It is a new way of seeing things from a different perspective, and a new paradigm, which is based on different laws that we're not so used to handling. And that's the reason why, and also because it can have a higher impact on society, that we should never lose the humanity and the critical perspective and the capacity to pose the right questions. So in addition to studying physics, I wanted to study philosophy in order to apply this vision in our field. I think it's a great approach. Different degrees that you would think are being neglected, but that are revamped and they find their place, because we're building at the same time a new ethics code in order to implement those solutions. Your project is based on quantum machine learning, which is the matching between quantum mechanics and information technologies, and the machine learning or automated learning, which could be the benefit of this alliance. This intersection of these fields, which is quantum mechanics and artificial intelligence and automated learning or machine learning, the benefits of that alliance is being studied. The quantum computers are going to have new features that we need to leverage, and there are some theoretical demonstrations regarding some kinds of algorithms that, with the new quantum paradigm, are always going to offer a solution, and they are going to be capable of being applied to different sets of data. So probably this is going to help us take the AI a step further to tackle any kind of challenge that includes the handling of a huge amount of data. And there have been some theoretical demonstrations of some cases where quantum computing can prove to be extremely useful. And also you can draw parallels in projects in interlacing or overlapping, and all of these properties can be potentially beneficial. So what these huge quantum computers do have to do with how to reduce the time that we need in order to tackle a humongous amount of data. It's just like, well, the mathematical operations that you could perform in 100 years could be done in a couple of seconds, right? That's the supercomputing, right? Yes, in fact, there was a demonstration by Google of a calculation that could take millions of years for the best supercomputer, but which was done with their quantum computer within a polynomial finite time. And they're trying to find some other kind of demonstrations which have to do with the quantum advantage, which is to tackle some problems that cannot be tackled currently, which can be tackled potentially with a super quantum computer. Yeah, well, this opens the hope for us. And you're working on the analysis of tumors, and you're also collaborating with the Supercomputing Center and the Institute for Photon Sciences. Talk about what you are researching right now. In the case of the Supercomputing Center of Barcelona, I'm collaborating with another researcher doing theoretical research on other kinds of quantum algorithms in order to tackle a mathematical problem. So from a pragmatic standpoint, it's not as interesting as the direct application in medicine, but this is a step forward in order to see which are the possibilities that this algorithm opens and whether this could be better than the classic algorithm that can be executed in a laptop, so to speak. And within the BSc, we have the Quantic group, and I collaborate there not just with this researcher, but with really influential people in the quantum computing, leading the projects called Quantum Spain that wants to build a quantum computer, which is going to be the main reference in the south of Europe, led by Dr. Alba Cervera Alierta, and she's a great reference and in this field, and that's why I am contributing to this project. And also in the Photonic Science Center, I had an stage in the Leticia Teruel's group, and they simulate quantum computing with ultra cold atoms. It is a bit different, but it's all about having a system that allows you to simulate other things like molecules, which could be really interesting in the future for a drug that you want to try to test. And maybe it's going to be impossible because calculations grow exponentially. And if you want to calculate whether it works or not, well, you can simulate it using some atoms in very specific conditions, which are made cold through a laser. And I have been working on the building of a laser for the future, which we hope is going to be capable of achieving in these simulations. And she's barely 18. Oh my God. We have huge talent before us. But if you could dream big, and what would you like to discover? Which would be, well, what would you would like to achieve? I would love, well, to get something similar to the algorithm that I got for the detection of tumors. I would like to have one of those major breakthroughs with a new algorithm that can tackle a problem, a challenge in the field of medicine or in molecule simulation or new materials. I would dream about achieving this kind of breakthrough and to achieve something that we cannot calculate in hundreds or thousands of years with the best supercomputers of today. Now that we talk about dreaming, and if you would be given the chance, let's say, of traveling through time and going out to have dinner with Rachel Feynman, a Nobel Prize, and the father of quantum computer, what would you ask him? But this is a very tricky question. If truth be told, maybe I would ask him how he imagined all of this, because when he explained it in the first conference in 1981, he already described quantum computers as if he would have a vision, a clear crystal view, and as if he would have a supercomputer, because now we have them. He did not have them, and they work exactly as he predicted. So I would ask him about pieces of advice of how to become as visionary as he was, and then some other kinds of formulae, right? Yeah. I would also like to talk about the importance of empowered women and the presence of empowered women in technology. Now we talk about fostering STEM technology training. Have you felt sometimes as the only woman in mainly manly atmosphere? Well, unfortunately, this is something that we still see in terms of percentages. I am one of the few female representatives in technology classes. Now at university, I think it's getting better, which is something that gives you hope. In physics, it is a STEM degree, and you can see more women, but we need to foster that in children. Yes, you're working with two organizations trying to foster the interest in quantum computing with MAGMA in order to foster research and the La Pedrera Foundation. So talk about how you're trying to foster interest among the youngsters in this uncharted territory. Well, in with the La Pedrera Foundation, they create some science programs for pre-university youngsters in Catalonia, all over Spain, and also international programs. And this is the first program through which I entered research, so I have always been grateful about that. And now I participate as volunteer. So we still develop programs that can draw technology and research closer to the youngsters so that they know that research is something that allows them to learn and so that we can leverage their curiosity. And in MAGMA, this is the foundation that organizes the most important showroom, university showroom, organized by volunteers in Europe. And it's a whole week where pre-university students have the opportunity to present some research projects that they have developed and interact among themselves and have this and to build a community at a pre-college stage in order to foster research and that they pursue scientific degrees and focusing on women. Yes, because sometimes it seems like we cannot land this abstract concept of quantum computing. And when you see the practical, specific applications, what you can achieve, that's something that you can leverage in order to entice curiosity and to begin to know more, which to a degree was kind of your process. Yes, precisely. When we're talking about science and technologies, if you reach out to the younger generations and you say that technology and the internet is not just an entertainment tool, but something that they can use in order to learn more, to answer questions, this is something that should be introduced at an early stage. And when this was introduced to me, it motivated me to pursue this research path. Yeah. And in a very successful way, I might add. Well, you have here the username in Instagram if you would like to post questions or follow her. We're going to open the floor for the Q&A in a minute, but I would like to talk about support. We have talked about the pandemic, the crisis, and how there has been like a brain drain and many talents that have not felt the backing or the support that they needed by the government. So we talk about brain drain and talent drain, and we have huge experts in quantum computing who are Spaniards and who are working in foreign countries. How do you perceive this? Which kind of support do you see to mathematicians, physicians, scientists? Truly, I see a lack. Not a university level, because I believe that education in Spain is excellent in that respect, but afterwards, in the world of research, and when we are talking about having researcher profession, there is a lack of economic support because it's really hard to find the right funding of European funds, etc., in order to carry out the projects so that a researcher can turn his or her idea into a reality. And in Spain, unfortunately, we're still missing a lot. And the PhD students' conditions are what they are, which leads to the brain drain. Yes, absolutely. It was really elegantly put. Let's leave it at that. Yeah. Conditions are what they are. So we're going to open the floor for Q&A for 5 minutes. But I would also like to know what Carla Caro does in her spare time, in her free time. Talk about how you, I don't know, entertain yourself, or what do you do in your free time. No, I'm not spending all the time studying or working. I like reading. I like spending time with my friends, listening to music. Which is the last book that you purchased? Purchased or read? Well, read the missing half from Brad Bennett, talking about two twins. One passes off as white, the other one passes off as a black person. So there's a dichotomy of races going on there, and it's really interesting. And the last one I purchased, longer, probably. Well, fantastic. We're going to pass on the mic to see if someone from the audience has some question, and I'm sure it's going to be the case. Thank you, Carla, for everything that you're doing and your initiative. I think that we would need 1 million Carlas in the current situation. I would like to pose just one question. James Lovelock, a scientist who recently passed away, who made the most prediction regarding how global warming would affect the planet, etc., almost all of those predictions unfortunately came true. He passed away recently, and he was interviewed, and the interviewer said, what do you recommend to me? What can I do as a person when facing this challenge? And this scientist had been warning for 20 years about what was coming, and he said, enjoy while it lasts. So evidently, you're not enjoying it while it lasts. You are at a really activistic mode. Are you optimistic regarding the food crisis, potential nuclear war, obviously the pollution of the groundwater, the global warming, which is there? Are you optimistic that new generations can change the situation? Well, thank you very much for the question. Truly, with the current situation, it's very concerning, and it's always difficult to find a bit of hope inside of this situation. But I believe that partly the new generation is fully aware of the problem, and I believe that our generation is going to have an activists and researchers generation that are going to be looking actively into tackling these challenges. So my hope is within us, who are aware of the bad situation we are in, but which I believe can be reversed.
No sé si da tiempo a alguna pregunta.
Do we have time for one more question? Yeah, over there.
Hola, Carla.
Hello, Carla. I admire you a lot. You are an excellent example to follow, and that's why I would like to ask you, which were your beginnings with science? Because I have a 6-year-old girl, and there is an open war with my husband because I would like for her to touch the computer, and my husband doesn't want that. I study IT, and I would like to specialize in artificial intelligence, and I would like for the girl to start learning computing as a really young girl. And as you are an example to follow, I would like to take you as an example when bringing up my daughter. Yes, precisely. I think it's really good to begin at that age. Normally, we're a bit reluctant regarding letting the child fumble with a computer. At her age, I had already started with some really simple blocks of programming, and I think it's really helpful. And we need to foster precisely this good use of technologies and learning how to program at a young age, because it's going to help us become digital natives in this language, which is the current language. So you can start programming blocks, simple blocks, and it's really good at that age because this is going to help you incorporate new ways of thinking.
Carla, muchas gracias. Quería preguntar.
Thank you very much, Carla. I would like to ask for your specific opinion in terms of years. How long until we have the big change? Because with the introduction of quantum computers, no safety code will be safe. And from a commercial standpoint, the banking system, health system, and also the whole set of quantum computing and artificial intelligence in countries with dictatorship regimes, well, this could jeopardize any type of movement towards freedom. What are we doing, and how many years do we have as modern society in order to immunize ourselves and to be prepared for what the future holds in store for us? It's really interesting, this aspect. I believe that in order to have a fully functional quantum computer capable of running some calculations, we would have to wait between 10 or 15 years. But even so, we're going to be talking about really specific calculations, but with a useful application. As regards the breaking of cryptographic systems, which is the first highlight through the Shor's factorization algorithm, we need to wait for thousands of qubits, which are the quantum bytes, and in 15 years probably we can reach 1,000 qubits, which will allow us to perform calculations but will not break cryptography. But even so, we're taking steps forward in this forecast, because maybe it's not going to be 15 years or 30 years from now. And we're performing some protocols for quantum cryptography in order to protect the data that cannot be broken with any quantum computer, because they rely on the same quantum physics law. So we are undertaking steps towards that direction, and there are some European projects for safe quantum communication that are implementing these protocols.
Yendo con la línea futurista.
Following within this futuristic line over here. The explosion of creativity in computing is something that started with a PC. How long do we need to wait for the quantum PC? Well, it's not the purpose of quantum computing. We're not going to have a quantum laptop. In supercomputing, we have different supercomputers spread all around the world, used for different scientific and social applications for large calculations. And the same is going to happen with quantum computers. They're going to be spread all around the world, interconnected among themselves, and there's going to be free access from each terminal from your home, but you will not physically have a quantum laptop at home. It's not the purpose.
Bueno, la verdad es que ha sido un...
Fantastic. It was a great pleasure. Thank you very much for setting the scene on quantum computing and the benefits we can reap to tackle the challenges. And it has helped us harbor hope when facing all of these big questions. And we can see that quantum computing needs to be part of this sovereignty in order to build the society that we want to strive for. Thank you very much, Carla Caro, for your contribution.
Hola, ahora en el hall de arriba. Uy, esperad un momentito. Cuando termine Sonia, en el hall de arriba hay un café.
Primero vamos a escuchar, que bueno, yo creo que menuda cómo hemos empezado, ¿eh? Yo no digo nada, ¿eh? Yo creo que...
That was a great start. Now let's listen to Sonia. It's a pub, so it'll be brief. Carla, elegance and quantum wisdom. Carla, you stop time with your magic. You imagine and create algorithms, data rain, and save lives. Carla, you are the discovery.